you know what? Oh, 19th of it's in 19th of May 2023. Fucking time. 3:57. Bloody hell. Supposed to be resting. Rest. I'm going to talk about a couple of things I was going to do. One of those things was the browser. Have you ever heard of Decentr? Decentr is a browser. I've been using it for a year. It doesn't really do anything. It's connected to Bitcoin, BitTube platform. It's for all the tech nerds. It doesn't do anything. I was looking up because what I do is I get pretty rough with browsers. I end up having probably 6 or 7 windows open at a time. I have said to myself, look, no more than 2 windows up at a time, no more than that. And I've said that. The Decentr browser, fucking Decentr browser. Anyway, a year ago, I was looking up browsers. I was researching them. What are the good ones? And for ad blockers and all that kind of jazz. And I found Brave. I don't use Brave because you've got to put everything into the long thing that goes along the top of the browser, the search bar, and you can type it. You can put in web addresses in there. Or did I just use? And then you got the other one in the middle of the page where I don't know what they're called, just where you type in everything. Like when you do a Google search or something, you don't have to go to the top bar, but browser only has the top bar. Fucking hell, what a fucking pain that is. And you get an ad every minute or so. And what the purpose is that to make money on Brave, if the ads come up and you click on them, and if you click on a certain amount of ads, you get a certain amount of Bitcoinage bullshit stuff shit. That's what I fucking call it now. Or you can have the ads turned off. Oh, I'm not upstairs in the lounge. I'm laying on the garage floor. This is where I come for solace sometimes. To be away from the world. Good look at this. Oh, can you see that? That's the moving blanket I have up there. That's the tripod there. See, that's the light. That's the light. That's the light. See the light? That's the tripod I use. And coming back nicely now to me. Do you like my smooth camera angles? And so Decentr, I looked it up. I researched all these different web browsers which had all these technical things because I decided that Opera wasn't good enough anymore. I'd just beaten it up a bit. I decided that Opera wasn't good to use and I'm going to upgrade. And I came across Brave and Decentr. They're all there. They don't do anything. Decentr has an excellent ad blocker, but the problem is it blocks everything. And so some of the main things I want to use, I can't use Decentr for it. Decentr. What kind of a name is that? What kind of a feature do you call that? What bloody kind of what ain't no country I ever heard of? Do they speak English and what? I dare, I double dare say what again one more fucking time. I dare, I double fucking dare. Now what? Do they speak English and what? So Decentr. The other day, like last week, only the other day, I'm like, Decentr is a terrible name for a web browser, and Opera has had some excellent upgrades recently. Because I checked, I was wondering if Opera has any upgrades, And yeah, they've got an ad blocker in there now. They've got a few new things in there now. I've actually gone back to Opera. I have actually gone back to Opera, and I like it. Decentr is weird because Decentr, they give you like these 20 words, which is just security code words, and you can actually log into the it's a really fucking terrible name, isn't it? Yes. And what happens is you log into Decentr, and okay, the idea of it is you can start making a lot of you can make a lot of money within a certain time period on Decentr if you take advantage of all the aspects of if you take advantage of all the different aspects of Decentr, then you can make a lot of money. And you too can make a lot of money from Decentr. That's right. For the special bargain price of there's no bargain price. Just log on every day. Just by merely logging on every day. All that bullshit. No. At first, Decentr served me well, and there's a lot of business and Bitcoin aspects of it, technical nerdy stuff, and I didn't even try to understand it. And you can do all sorts of things on there. I think about 2% of the population are aware of Decentr, and everyone else just uses Google. And I've been using Decentr for a year, and it's okay, but I'm now depressed by it, and I just want to go back and going back. Opera is prettier, more attractive, more appealing. Opera has a nice little ad blocker in there now, and one of the worst. Yeah, I was just going to say that Opera has always served me perfectly fine, but I got into this attitude, this mind frame where it was like, okay, Opera's old hat, Opera's living in the dark ages, and I watched a couple of videos where these guys a couple of videos, and the host said, if you're still using Opera, you're living in the dark ages, and you need to use Decentr. Fuck off. I did for a year. I'm over it. It's no different to any of the other browsers. Oh, if you're totally paranoid about someone watching your tracks or whatever or something, I don't know, if you're doing some weird stuff on the dark web or site, the fuck I don't know. Look, I've never been on the dark web. Anyway, fuck I don't know. Decentr browser. To be honest, I actually don't know what it does. All I know is that I wanted an ad blocker, and Decentr has one built in, and so does Brave. Brave is very good for that too. So if you're on YouTube and don't want any ads, Brave browser, yes. But I don't like the way that Brave works very much. And to be honest, unless you're an ultra fucking technical Bitcoin fucking, like, I don't even understand Bitcoin. I don't even have my wallet set up yet. I keep going to do it every few days. I'm like, oh, that fucking thing. The BitTube wallet. Someone told me when I first started out, the first week of, let me look at how much, oh, just keep ranting, Pat. I've got plenty of time. Just checking the time on this. I'm supposed to be sleeping. I was like, I don't know. In the first fortnight that I started with Brave, and that I started finding out about Bitcoin, that BitTube bullshit browser, fuck, that's depressing there. I don't use that anymore. I was so naive when I started out. I talked to a couple of people. There was one person who said, I thought I was going to make 500. I thought I was going to make $500,000 within the space of a year because I've watched these other videos about BitTube, and the people said, this is a grand opportunity moment. Right now is the best time to invest in BitTube. Now is the best time to farm. I don't know what they buy chips and they farm for. Oh, what the fuck it is? I don't know. Coming to you from the darkness now as the light is off. I just wanted to add a couple of things. It's called mining for BitTube. Look, you'd have to spend 40 hours a bloody week or more just to. There's people out there that say that they do make money off Bitcoin. They'd make Bitcoin, but fucking hell, the amount of effort involved in doing that. They're on 20 different sites. They're not just on YouTube. They're on Rumble. They're on Odyssey. They're on Brave. and there's probably about 10 or 20 other websites, platforms that operate on for Bitcoin, BitTube bullshit. Bitcoin, because it's all bullshit. The whole thing is bullshit. And there was one guy, I think his name is Scott Business, and yeah, he says he makes money, but for the amount of, like, you'd have to consume your whole day. All of it, and I've just got other things to do. I can't let that consume my whole day. He said himself he's on 15 different platforms, and that's how he gets by on that. But fucking hell, jeez, I do my things for YouTube, and then I was at one point making time for BitTube, and honestly, it takes a bit. People say they do. People say they do make a living, but I think for the most part it's all bullshit. Okay, yeah, and the BitTube mining, fucking hell. Anyway, that's a slice in the darkness. No, that's a slice in, yeah. And you buy these chips, you put them in the computer, and you try to find bitcoins or something, some fucking bullshit like that. There's all this. Anyway, in the very beginning, I was very naive, and no one explains the stuff to you. There was one particular woman on YouTube, she was explaining things, but I still can't get it. And there was one guy, and I said to him, "Oh, I'm all set up now." Well, it wasn't really what I said. I'm all set up now. He said, "You're better off packing 4 sets. You'll make more money packing 4 sets." I laughed at him. I said, "Oh no, I'm onto a really good thing here." And he was right. You'd make more money in a factory packing 4 sets than you would trying to make Bitcoin, BitTube, fucking shit. Place to give you a headache, and also BitTube was very depressing for me. Every time I'd go, I was using the BitTube, it was weird. Okay, the BitTube browser is a bit weird, and it's got this thing on it, this app thing which tells you how much you've made. And after a few months, I thought, oh, well, I made $500. I thought I made $500, and I looked at it. So I actually looked at how much I'd made. I thought, easily $500, easily. And it said, you have made, what was it, 15 cents or 50 cents? I was like, what the fuck? I was like, what the fuck? I said, you've made 50 cents. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be absolutely kidding me. And there's no one there to help. No one will help you on BitTube. There's no videos to help you. And my BitTube app thing had this, supposed to have this big profile on it or something, but my BitTube didn't do that. Anyway, I'm aware that about 2% of the population use BitTube, and BitTube Local TV crashed and burned. They crashed and burned December last year. They got shut down. They're no longer. But all the videos I had uploaded to BitTube, I was able to actually, I wrote everything down that I uploaded. So I went back last week, made my BitTube list, because that was my preferred version of, that list was my preferred versions of all the videos that I'd uploaded, because I went back and reassessed them all, because you can have this whole thing where you migrate everything over from have this whole thing on BitTube. The option is you can take all the videos that are from YouTube and just dump them onto BitTube all at once onto the wall. And there's some people who do that. You see fucking 50 to 100 videos all at once. Sometimes like someone just dumped all these. Don't you just want to reassess them one by one? It was a perfect opportunity for me to reassess all my videos one by one. I learned a lot from that. It was good for my development. Good for my development as a YouTuber, as a person. I was able to look back. It was a bit confrontational, but I learned a great deal. It was like, oh, not that. And I was being extremely experimentational with myself. I was just sort of spoken poetry and all that, sort of short film orientated. I learned a lot from it though. I learned sort of what to do, what not to do. I just learned. And it does not look good when people dump 50 to 100 videos onto the BitTube wall. And also, I'm very well aware of the fact that you're thinking, what the fuck is BitTube? Nobody knows about, very few people know about BitTube. about 2% of the population, maybe 5% of the population of the internet population will know about BitTube. It's not a very well known thing. It's not very well known. It's very depressing there. It's just largely European based. So you've got a lot of weird European politics on there and just other weird shit, and not an appealing place at all. I never saw any future in it. I didn't see any growth in it. There was no growth. And when it ended, when it crashed and burned, when it was shut down, I was not the least bit surprised at all. And so there was that. How am I going for time? I'm still recording. Oh, fantastic. The battery's still good. So, yeah. I was going to initially record this video upstairs so I could show you the Decentr browser. I don't think there's any need to show you, like, Decentr is just another browser, that's all it is. I was just going to show what it looked like on the computer, on the screen, but you know, it's just another browser, that's all it is. It's actually quite dreary. Decentr doesn't even sound good. And I use this search engine called DuckDuckGo. And a few people raved about it. They said if you want complete and utter privacy, if you don't want anyone tracing your tracks and all that, if you're a totally paranoid person, basically, you know, looking up weird shit and you don't want anyone else to know about it, well, whatever. Okay, DuckDuckGo. They said you've got to use DuckDuckGo. Don't use Google anymore. So I used DuckDuckGo for a month. I used it for a month until I got so depressed and so fucking sick of it. DuckDuckGo. You type it in. What Google does, you type something into Google, give it straight up, the information you need. What DuckDuckGo does, you type something in, and it gives you, it recommends 10 different weird fucking websites that you've never heard of before, right? I was like, what the fuck is this? So you got to do 3 different searches before you even get one thing. I put up with this. I tolerated it for a month, and at the end of the month I was like, I've had enough of this. I had to use it for 4 weeks. And I'm like, fuck's sake. And then the moment I went back to Google, I felt like I was going back home. And I actually went back to the video of the guy who'd recommended DuckDuckGo, and I had this rant, this semi-rant, which is unlike me, because I don't rant about things, no. Oh, DuckDuckGo. Now, right, so I told them what I thought of DuckDuckGo. Of course I got no response. They didn't respond to me because they think fucking DuckDuckGo is the best. They think that sliced bread. Well, actually, I don't even like sliced bread. I buy my bread from Woolworths, and I cut my slices with a knife to the thickness that I like them, and that's how I do it. I digress. DuckDuckGo. What a load of bullshit that is. I fucking can't stand the place. It got me depressed. Google, yeah, Google. Google's the dominant company. Yes, it is, for a reason. Because I get it, whatever I want. I type it into Google. I get it instantly. And that's what I like. I like that convenience. I like that. Yes, Google are the richest internet company in the world. Yeah, they provide me. They are. They also provide me with what I want. They give me what I want instantly. I get it straight away. I don't want to go through 4 to 5 fucking websites and be given all these options that I don't want. You don't hear anybody saying, "Let me just DuckDuckGo it." You don't. I was truly depressed by DuckDuckGo, and I haven't gone anywhere near it since. And yes, I use Google. Yes, that's what I do. Oh, this is my quick edit before I go back upstairs from the darkness. No, there was the comment in the video. I can't remember whose it was. Long time ago now. It was a while ago. When I joined DuckDuckGo, when I started using DuckDuckGo, and in the user comments under their video, it said, "Oh, I joined DuckDuckGo." What do I keep saying join for? I started using DuckDuckGo about a year ago. I've never looked back since. Oh, I've been using it for 2 years now. It was another user. They said, I've been using DuckDuckGo for 2 years now. Never looked back since. Never ever go back to Google. I'm there. And that was before I started using it. And after a month, and what it was also I don't get depressed, but incredible frustration just at not being able to get information the way that Google delivers it. I'm like, you've been using it for 2 years? Fuck's sake. Are you gotta be kidding me? You've been using it for 2 years? After a month, I've been using it for a month. I've only been using it for a month and I'm bloody frustrated, beyond all bloody recognition, frustrated, my goodness. And they're like, yeah, Google is dark ages and DuckDuckGo. I had never turned back now. DuckDuckGo, yeah, okay, sure, yeah, okay. I used DuckDuckGo for a month. Depressing and frustrating. I just wanted to add that in. And all of it too. Look, Bitcoin exists. It exists, but the amount of time that you gotta put into things for it to work is no. It's not who I am. It's not what I do. It's not what I'm knowledgeable about. It's not what I'm knowledgeable about. I'd rather rant and talk about an album for 30 minutes or a movie. That's my area. I'm not Bitcoin orientated. Yeah, I'm not. Okay, I'm slicing this in two, and I'm about to get back upstairs. Okay, all right. And I've gone back to Opera. I like Opera. And I use Safari on my iPod. My iPod. I like Opera. Opera's great. Yep. That's what I need, and they've actually upgraded it recently, so it's fantastic now, Opera. I've gone back to it. Look, I beat things up a bit. It's a bit sluggish, it's a bit only because I had previously beat it up a little bit, because sometimes I had 7 windows open at once. I'm trying only to have 2 open at once now. DuckDuckGo is bullshit. It is. It's bullshit. I'm not going to try to be eloquent about it. I'm not going to try and DuckDuckGo is a browser which did not provide me with a lot of convenience. It gave me headaches. It gave me stress. It wasn't efficient at getting me information. All bullshit. And Brave is not that much better. It is not that much better. To be honest, I don't use Brave very often. I just don't. And Decentr became depressing, and Opera is more attractive and more appealing. I like the red circle of Opera. I like it. That's what I wanted to say. And I don't usually talk about this stuff very often. I don't talk about web browsers and that. But because I have a little bit of experience with using those ones now, I thought that I would speak about them briefly. I just thought I would speak about them. And yeah, I just thought I would speak about them. I just thought I would do that. I was planning to be near the computer for a while. You don't need to see pictures of them. I was going to just show you the actual website. You don't need to see it. You can figure it out. You don't even need to figure it out. Don't bloody go. You don't need BitTube. What lousy. And the only way that people make money off BitTube is they do set up their wallet. They set up their wallet. Okay, the Bitcoin wallet. Okay, and what a razzma bloody Taz rigmarole that is. I still haven't done it yet. I probably will do it just for the sake of it. Probably, maybe soon, maybe, if it doesn't give me a headache. And what it is if you get a whole bunch of music and you upload it to BitTube, and then someone someone has to listen to it, like you listen to it like all night or something, because if people watching videos, enough people watching videos, you get a little bit from that. But it's going to be hours and hours and hours and hours of content and all that stuff. Oh, it's bloody complicated. You can put whatever you want up on BitTube. Some people are just really fucking weird on there. Weird. Oh yeah, I've done some weird stuff in the past, but this is on a different level. This is on a level which was not really just... I could understand how BitTube was a good avenue for some Europeans. Yeah. And there's other things like DTube, there's a Rumble. I'm actually on Odyssey. Odyssey's a bit weird as well to me. It's just a bit weird as well. I haven't done a lot on Odyssey. I've maybe have 20 videos up there. I said this in the other video, I'm backlogged a year or so, or 2 years. I've just sort of, not in a dilemma, just what am I going to do with Odyssey? I'll put a few more videos up of yesterday, of a couple of, I was about to say yesterday, of a couple of years ago, because yesteryear means like 20 years ago. That's what yesteryear doesn't mean last year. Yesteryear means decade ago, 2 decades ago. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Oh, when it won't be with a pretty pink ribbon. I'm just going to wrap this up now. I'm going to try and get some rest. I'm going to get some rest before I go out tonight. I'm meeting up with a friend tonight. And more. I'm going to go. I'm just, right, let me just. Alright, thanks for listening. Really appreciate it. Thanks for listening. And, Midnight Charlie Man Patrick. Really appreciate you listening. And I just wanted to say all that because I thought it was semi-important. Not semi-important, I thought it was important to convey all that about the browsers. Opera is perfectly fine, okay? BitTube is shit. BitChute. There is a platform called that. Haven't been on there. Haven't done it. Probably could. There's people that do go on BitChute. I know some people use Rumble. Anyway, thanks for listening. Really appreciate it. Thanks a lot. I'm going to stop recording now. Okay.